Yeah, so I made those bags. Took me a couple of days to make them, and it had me kind of thinking. Let's hit the intro. No, I don't have an intro. I was just joking around. So welcome back. So it took me a couple of days to make these bags, and it had me kind of thinking that is it possible to make money in the leather craft? So like I said, it took me 2 days to make 5 bags, approximately about 22 hours. I kept a time clock to see how long it would take me to make 5 bags. 5 bags in 22 hours or so, and that's using a sewing machine and the skiving machine. This is all just from 5 bags, all that skiving. I can't even imagine doing all that skiving, doing it hand skiving, and I can't imagine like sewing all this up with hand stitching it. That would probably double the time, maybe even triple the time. So how would you break that down? How would you figure the cost on that? So then I was thinking, like, how do we price out products? So how do we price out the products? Well, making those 5 bags and now trying to come up with a cost for those bags, and you try to figure out all the hours you spent in them, make a living at doing this, or a full-time living, or maybe part-time. You can do it because it's just part-time hours, or I have no clue. But I was trying to figure this thing out because the curiosity got the best of me, because I wasn't planning on, or I don't think I'm planning on doing this. Who knows what life brings you, but thinking about, I never thought about, time wise. Usually just building a wallet, takes me an hour here, an hour there, and you sell the wallet. Never really thought about it, but I figured I was going to make 5 bags and really time how long it took me to do that 5 bags. And then it made me realize that, well, if I ever, or someone out there that wants to do this for a living, is it possible? If we break down the cost of the leather, and I'm not even sure if this is the right formula, maybe some other leather crafter out there that knows a better formula, but just being a business owner myself, thinking about the leather, the only thing I can think of is, I buy it by the side. So if I take that cost of that side of that leather, that whole side, which is like between 24 to 20 square feet, and I'm not sure if you can even price out a product per square foot, so I was thinking like maybe per inch. So then if you take your side of your hide and figure out the square inches of it, and then when you make your bag or whatever you're making and you figure out the square inches that you're using, then you get the cost of that bag or wallet or whatever you're making for leather wise. How do you break down the cost for the thread, and then just consumable stuff that you use, like glue, coconut oil. These are all consumables. These are all things that you use to make these things. Replacing tools when tools are needed, repairs on a sewing machine or something like that, and never mind all the tool costs, but eventually you're gonna break a tool or something. You have to replace tools, so you have to figure that in cost. Somehow, some way, you got to figure that all into this product. It blows my mind, how do you even figure that out? Because after going into this thing, and after really timing how long it takes me to make a product, and I did these 5 bags, like I cut all the pieces out for all the bags, and I cut all the straps, And then I put the straps away and started working on cutting the actual pieces out of the leather. I cut larger pieces and then fit them on there, and I got all my pieces all cut and I stacked them up for each bag. And then I started building each bag. Like I do one half of the bag and then do another half of the bag and do another half of the bag, and then I made like kind of like an assembly line. I got the main portion of the bag done, and then I worked on the straps. Gluing. I do double-sided. Stick two pieces of leather together and getting that to the length that you need and getting the width that you need, and then sewing it. And the straps took longer than the bag to make. I mean, the straps are 56 inches long, and stitching it took a little longer. Making the straps, gluing the straps up, making the straps, cutting them to size, rounding off the corners, beveling the edges, and then sewing it, and then burnishing the edges. Took a long time doing 5 straps that are 56 inches long. It took me, I would say, most of the second day of this 5-bag build or 5-bag making thing. I wanted to do this because I was thinking, like, if you got an order of 5 bags or whatever, and can you get them done in a reasonable time? I know that I'm new at this, and I don't have a lot of experience, and I haven't figured out a rhythm but I know that as I get older, I'm not old, believe me, I'm in my 50s, but I mean, that's not saying I'm old, but because I'm older, I seem to be slower at things. And I don't know, like, if someone that might, I guess I don't know if you can actually make money doing this. I really don't know. Just my thoughts. Just not saying that you can't, and I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying what, just me going, just was really curious on making these 5 bags, how long it would take me. It was a lot of work making these bags. I mean, I just can't imagine if someone was, I don't even know how. I guess at this point I really don't know. And they're such simple bags. I mean, they're not really very difficult bags. They're actually one of the easiest bags to make. There's a little bit more with the longer strap and all that stuff, but I don't know. I really literally thought, after I made these bags and looked at the hours that I spent on it and the money, the cost of the leather and consumables, thread and just stuff like that. I didn't run into any problems. I didn't have the sewing machine jam up on me, so that slowed me down or anything. Everything went pretty smooth. I mean, unless I'm missing something. Maybe guys out there that are making a living doing this. And I guess that brings me to the other point. Where is your price for these items? Like, if you figure out the square inches, I'm thinking square inches. I don't know why I'm thinking square inches, but you figure out what it costs you for the leather, and then the hardware, you break that down. And then you think about your thread, and then you got your consumables, and you got a cost of making this bag, and then you add your hours in on making that bag. What you want for an hour. I mean, I can't, like, if you were trying to support a family, I mean, $15 an hour is not going to cut it. I can't imagine. So, I mean, if you spend 22 hours, I don't know. I really don't know. So then it comes to the point where, okay, if you charge $40 for this bag, or $100 for this bag, or $180 for this bag, or whatever it is, are you gonna outprice yourself where nobody's gonna buy the bag? Or if you're underpricing yourself and you're making no money, or if you sell it right almost at the borderline that you might make a few dollars, but a few dollars is not going to support your family. So I guess I'm really not understanding the leather craft. Like, if you are getting into this thing as a career, I mean, unless you were specialized in something else, something like a bigger item, and you get a lot of money for this item, and then all the wallets and all the little handbags are just kind of gravy on, or something like that. I don't really know. I know I looked on some websites and people are charging $400 or $500 for, laptop bag or something like that. And I can see why it would cost that much money. I mean, I can't imagine the craftsman that, how long it took him to make that, because how long it took him to make that bag, I guess. And then I'm not even close of like making something that detailed, or I haven't done this for very long. So, but it was just a thing that I thought that I would share, that maybe some of you were already thinking. I mean, I did the time. I jot down all my time, and I wasn't, really accurate on my time, and the leather costs. It was how I broke that down, and at the end of the day, or at the end of the day, I don't think I can make any money doing this. Well, I don't know the answer to any of that. I just thought it was a kind of a curiosity, because it's not what I'm doing with this whole thing. I mean, I'm doing this whole thing for a whole different reason. So just my thoughts on it, I guess. This 5-bag project just made me aware of, that. I'm not sure. I don't even know. Thinking about a career path in it and all that stuff, that would really do your homework, I guess. There's probably ways I don't even know, because I don't know about it that much, but all I know is what I did for 2 days. I just can't see how I can make up money for those 2 days for the amount of work I put into those 5 bags. I don't even know how you could charge, what would I need to charge per bag to make up for those 2 days, or those 22 hours that I spent on this thing. I might not be making any sense whatsoever. I'm just thinking out loud that I'm trying to break it down and trying to figure it out. That's what you do, I guess, when you're a business owner. Just wanted to share my thoughts on that whole thing. It might not be anywhere near the truth, or not the truth, but what applies to each person out there, or each individual, how they do their leathercraft business. I don't know if I'm missing something, but boy, I'll tell you, it was a lesson learned for that 22 hours. But what it is. So that's all I got for you guys today. So I just wanted to voice my opinion on it, or my insight on not knowing what I'm talking about. Alright, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.